Good morning, YouTube. We are back. YouTube play of the day, 2 spots on today's slate. Pretty early. Honestly, it's about 6:10 this morning. Got some work to do a little bit later, so I want to make sure we still get out our plays for you guys. We wanted to make sure we had some props available, so we couldn't do it last night. So had to do it right now. If you guys could, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Brutal recap here. We got hooked last night. I got a great line, 81.5. Had a fantastic line, and still found a way to get hooked. Bama went 4 minutes without scoring a point. Just really, really poor. I will give a quick shout though. Shout out to Mark Sears. I posted him in my VIP group. Was over 21.5 points. My God, that was the sweatiest sweat of my life. He had 6.5, played all the garbage time in the world, and ended up getting 22. So gambling gods are real, man. And they I guess they felt like they owed me one on that one. So we are back today, heading back into some SEC action. And also we're going to be heading to, I believe it is MAC Country for their championship today. And going back to a team that we like to roll with here. So let's get it started and get it going right here. Let me pull up my screen. And we will get it going. All right, 2 spots right here, both minus 120. Wade Taylor, points. Kent State under team total here. All right, let's start with Wade Taylor. Wade Taylor is phenomenal player. Obviously, this is for Texas A&M, and obviously we're going to be going to this game with them against Florida, right? Florida plays extremely fast, 22nd in the country, 77th in adjusted defense, and 22nd in pace. So this is a huge step up for tempo for A&M. But all I needed to see was yesterday, right? They played with Kentucky, and they played them fast, right? They scored 97 on Kentucky. Wade Taylor had 15 points in their last game against Florida. And in that game, he only played 29 minutes and got in foul trouble. And they won by 1, right? So all I need to know is if they're going to play him the way they've been playing him lately, I think he's going to just absolutely destroy this number, right? So looking at a couple of these other speed-up games, right, you have the game against Kentucky, their first game, he had 31. He had a speed-up game at LSU. He had 19. The other game against Florida, he only had 1 against Florida. The other game was against Tennessee. They sped him up. Bama shut him down with only 10, but Tennessee 25, right? And on this run of theirs, he's got 19, 20, and 32. I don't think that we're going to see great transition defense here. I know Florida just played a really crazy game yesterday. And I think we could see Wade Taylor play this entire game, right? We've seen his minutes continually increase. They won against Ole Miss. He played 31 minutes. They won by 10. He had the 20 points. Yesterday, they had a close matchup, better team. 32 points, 36 minutes. I'm expecting him on the court for most of this. And I'm expecting him to be, in complete control. We've seen the usage also go up, obviously, as these games get closer and closer. 15 shot attempts, 24 shot attempts. And when it comes down to it, who's getting the ball. It's Wade Taylor. When they need a bucket, where it's going, it's Wade Taylor. He's going to be phenomenal in March if they make it. I think now at this point they're fighting for that, and getting some quad 1 wins now are obviously very, very important. So I really like Wade Taylor. I want to roll with him again. And we just saw Sears get the 22, right? If you want to go up and down the list of guards scoring this against him, you got to look at some high-end guards, though. So I love Wade Taylor in this matchup. I think that this game stays fast, and I think it's impressive that a lot of these tournaments have been hitting the unders consistently. But the SEC tournament, Texas A&M games, man, 151 and then 184 in their 2 games for their overs. So just a heads up that these guys aren't slowing the game down. And as I'm going to talk about in my next pick with an under, I want the games to slow down like they usually have been. So hit that like button, guys, before we get to play number 2, and that's going to be Kent State team total under 64.5. Let's just talk about my boys from Akron. I don't know how they were still like +2 something to win the tournament before they started. So something that just baffles me now, because I just think they're significantly better than everybody in this conference. And I think that this game is going to be just a grind fest, but I also think that Akron's going to shut these dudes down. So look at these games, right? We have Akron winning their first game, or Kent State winning their first game against Toledo. And Toledo, I'll say it, is probably one of the softest teams in America in terms of paint presence, because they're so good finessing you, right? They're a fantastic shooting team. They run great offense, really efficient offense. But they're not meant to body you down low, right? And when we look at some of these games, right, Kent State's big guy in that game was the guy who went for like 20-something, right? Davis has a 10-point game in their first game, and I don't think that that's a fluke, right? I don't think that's a fluke at all, because when you look at Freeman, dude, Freeman is an absolute dominant big. He is so good, protects the paint, protects the hoop, and even in these wins, right, they're winning 67 with 67 points and 73. Now you're going against Akron, who plays extremely slow, a top 100 adjusted defense. Akron has also held both of their teams that they've played in the tournament under this number. I just have a really hard time, I guess, seeing these guys score that many points against them. When you look at Kent State, what are they trying to do? They're obviously trying to feed in the paint, and then also have Sullinger and Santiago out on the outside shooting threes. Well, unfortunately for you, when you play Akron, you don't make threes, right? You do not have that good of chances at shooting threes, because when you look at Akron right now, they are 14th in the country in 3-point defense, only allowing 30% from the 3-point line. I think this is an absolute, just a drag game, but I love Akron in this spot. I think Akron wins. I think they win big. But I think this is the safest spot, because the side I trust the most is Akron's defense to shut down this offense. So I want to roll with Kent State to not score in this game. So I'm going to roll with the Akron Zips to slow them down. Kent State team total under 64.5 at -120. So rolling with that one. And let me just put this on here, because I know I'm going to get asked questions. It's not a big deal, but I want to make sure I put that Wade Taylor is on Texas A&M. There we go. Over 18.5 points, -120. Kent State team total under 64.5, -120. So thank you, guys. I was coming off the loss yesterday by the hook. Hopefully we can get 2 of them back today. So 67 and 46, 14.98 units. Let's get both of those winners today. So thank you, guys. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we will be back on Monday with all the brackets out. So thank you, guys. Have a good one.